Good morning. I am just about to sit down to work and I've made my jug of Huel, which is my breakfast at the moment, and it takes a while to drink it, so I was reminded of the tea ceremony and the Japanese tea ceremony, and I've got this book which I've dug out again because I just love it, and it's by Beth Kempton, and it's a whole new way of looking at the world and your life inspired by centuries old Japanese wisdom. She lived in Japan for a long time, and I've explored the tea ceremony before in mindfulness trainings that I've run for people, and really all I've done with that is got people to drink a cup of tea very slowly but be in communion with each other. And as I was thinking about that today, I came back to this book and I remembered something in it, and I've just found it and I wanted to share it with you because it gives you some guidance around that tea drinking ritual, around what to do with your mind during that tree drinking, hopefully under a tree, tea drinking ceremony. And I've got a lot to do today, particularly this morning, and so I thought I had to procrastinate. No, I thought I needed to get my head in the right space. So I thought rather than just drinking my morning drink, do it with presence, bring presence to it. So I thought I'm going to do it, so I thought I may as well share it with you. So Wabi inspired wisdom for nurturing relationships. Wabi opens up a space for love. No one is perfect. Our connections deepen when we humour each other's imperfections. The 4 principles of the tea ceremony, harmony, respect, purity and tranquility, can help us develop good relationships. I've just realised I need my glasses, and I'm just going to switch the fan off for a moment. Just the piece without the, although I love the fan, but without the humdrum. So, channeling the spirit of the tea ceremony in daily life. Think of someone you're particularly close to, perhaps a spouse, a child, a parent, a friend, or a work colleague. Make a note of ways in which you could apply the principles below in your day-to-day relationships with them. Your answers might be either emotional or practical suggestions. So the first part of the tea ceremony, the 4 principles, is Wa, or I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It might be Wa, it's spelled W-A, and it means harmony. So take your cup of tea and think about this person, colleague, child, parent, and as you're drinking your tea, we're going to think on these questions, and I'm going to think on them too. So for harmony, what could you do more of to encourage harmony? And if you have a notebook, you could jot that down. So I got something in for that. What could you do less of? What could you do differently? What could you try for the first time? What could you let go of for the sake of harmony? I like that question. What could you let go of for the sake of harmony? What details of their life could you notice and pay more attention to? What is that person's natural rhythm? How could you consider that more in your life together? For example, timing of important conversations, giving them space after a long day, suggesting they have a lie-in after a hard week. What is that person's natural rhythm? And it may be that just that thought then is something that when you're in the moment and you're about to leap into an intense conversation about, let's say, just why someone hasn't done the washing up or taken the dog out or finished that report or whatever it is, maybe that thought of harmony, what is that person's natural rhythm? How could you consider that more in your life together, in your loving relationship together, in your working relationship together? Drops into your head and you think, this doesn't need to be talked about now. I need to find the right time for them when they're not stressed or just finish it a long day or whatever. And now let's turn it on its flip side. How could you help them consider your natural rhythm more in your life together? How can you make them aware of your natural rhythm and what you need? My mother always needed quiet in the morning. She said she needed to have at least 2 cups of tea before she could actually speak to anyone. So when staying there, I needed to consider that, even though I might want to maximise that time I had. How could you help them consider your natural rhythm more in your life together? Maybe it's a conversation at the right time where you sit down and say, look, what are our rhythms? And what do we each need in order to live in harmony together? What could you share about yourself that would help them support you? Is there something you're masking? To be strong, to be brave, to be not vulnerable. Is there something that you're hiding from somebody that you love or that you have a relationship with that you could share to help them have a deeper understanding so that they can support you? Okay, let's move on to the next word in the tea ceremony principles, which is K. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. K-E-I or Kai. K. Ki. Waki. I think it's ki, which means respect. So, what do you respect about this person? And how could you let them know about this? You know, sometimes we really respect people. We don't share that respect with them until after they've popped off. You know, that all happens at the funeral, doesn't it? That all happens in retrospect. But what use is that respect? I mean, it's nice, but what use is that respect after someone's gone? It could be a small thing that you respect about them. You don't have to have done amazing things or, you know, made loads of things or, you know, they just, it could be something small. It could be the fact that they're always kind to people with customer service. What do you respect about this person? Let them know. When they do it, tell them. And tell them how it makes you respect them. In what ways could you offer them kindness right now? So think about what you respect about them and in what ways you could offer them kindness as you sip your tea. In what ways could you show humility in your relationship with them? I think particularly when people are in, I mean, I'm not in a relationship at the moment, but I have been. And you know, you can be at kind of in a silent war with people about certain things. And how can you be humble? How can you show humility in your relationship with them? It could be backing down on something that you're being stubborn about. It could be bringing things back to a human connection, humanity, a value. In what ways could you show humility in your relationship? If you've run out of tea, get yourself some water, because you can do this sipping with water. I've got a jug of this stuff. In what ways could you show humility in your relationship? So we've had wa, va, wake, wake, harmony, respect, se, purity. When you look for the best in this person, what do you see? How could you let them know about this? How could you tell them what you see, the best of them, what you see in them? You might just be saying it, might be writing it down. Think back to the last time you had some kind of conflict with them. If you'd approached it with a commitment to seeing the best in them, even in the middle of the conflict, what might have been different? And you can do this on past relationships. I'm now doing it on a past relationship. For not to reignite that relationship, but just to find my own peace around that relationship, the complexities that were present in that relationship, to find peace in that now so that it doesn't imprint my life moving forward. List all the ways you care for this person. Find a lovely way to tell them. I love that. List all the ways that you care for this person. Not what you admire, not what you respect. How do you care for them? This is in the dynamic between you. This isn't about them and you. This is about the energetic dynamic. And write those things that you really care about them. And then find a lovely way to tell them this. So we'll leave that for a later thing for you to do. So the final of the 4 principles is Jaku, tranquility. So we've got Wa, harmony, or Va, Ke, respect, Se, purity, Va, Ke, Se, Jaku, or Yaku, tranquility. How could you nurture a sense of calm in your relationship? So calm just doesn't happen, does it? It can when things die down, but also we can play an active role in nurturing that and creating space for that. So how could you nurture a sense of calm in your relationships? Are there particular times or scenarios where you tend to react in an emotionally charged way? How might you benefit from approaching a conflict situation with harmony, respect, purity, and tranquility? It may not be easy, but it can make a huge difference. That's how we can change patterns. So what are your triggers? And if you approach them, you can think about this, but also you can think about this in the moment. So notice I've been triggered, my fight or flight has gone off. Instead of going into defensive mode or withdrawal, how might I benefit the situation with harmony, respect, purity, and tranquility? That's something to think on, I think. Think about your triggers. And how could you proactively build more space and peace into your time together? You know, so many people are just rushing around at the moment. Like, I could have a really rushed morning. I've got lots to do. And I was feeling a bit stressed by the amount that I had to do. And even though I'm taking this time, which is what now, 22 minutes, in doing this process, I moved myself into the right state to be able to be more efficient and productive. So how could you proactively build more space and peace into your time together? Is it a daily walk? Is it sitting down at dinner together? Is it having a cup of tea in the morning? My parents always did that. One or other of them would make a cup of tea and they would sit in bed with their tea and talk about the day ahead, talk about family. And they didn't, well, I think they'd sometimes slipped into talking about work, but I would advise not talking about work in that space. Or maybe it's an evening ritual that you do. Okay, so that's it. That is the Wabi Sabi, spirit of the tea ceremony in daily life. So obviously you can't go through all those questions all the time, but as you take time to sip your tea or coffee, just think about the person or the conflict or the current situation or the dynamic, and think about applying harmony, respect, purity, and tranquility. Purity, I think, is the more intangible one. And purity is about seeing the best in the person or the situation, letting them know it. Seeing the best in the middle of a conflict, right in the middle of it all, and caring. That's pure. That's like the purity of compassion, isn't it? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. I feel nice and calm now. The book, if you want it, is called Wabi Sabi. and it's by Beth Kempton. I think I got it from Waterstones. You can buy it at littlebrown.co.uk. And it's one of my books that I've got lots of books that I dip into, and this is one. And that was just needed today, so I hope you enjoyed that. Glasses off, normal vision. I wanted to say a Wabi Sabi. I'm going to say it, Wabi Sabi. Have a great day.